Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Tamiya's latest release. This is the 1/12 scale Yamaha XV1600 Roadster Custom. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't realise this was actually a new tool release. I just thought this was an old one that sort of come back or something else like that. But no, it turns out it is a brand new tool release by Tamiya and a bike. Something a little bit different. Okay, so basically, very nice box art, pretty much standard for sort of Tamiya ones. A little bit of info down on the side here for the 2000 model. Okay, got your kit number for this one is number 135, nice and simple, and a few other options as you can see down in there in the blue. So, looking down in here, we are greeted by some nice chrome parts, fair enough. We've also got some clear parts, and actually they're stapled together, and some black for the saddlebags. We've got some, pearlescent plastic. Okay, Tamiya, not sure what you're thinking on that one. And again, we've got multiple parts down in here in black. Some more clear parts as we can see. Some engine parts moulded in grey. Tyres. We've got some tools. We've got a couple of springs and various other things down in there. We'll look at that in a moment. And a big old fret, just about fits in the box. Again, of more pre-done chrome parts. Then we've got various things down in here, some decals and a sort of pinstriping set really, and a mask. And then we've got some hints and tip sheets, which I don't think we really need. Okay, so that down there the way. I'll start off with, as always, we'll start with the instructions. So, usual thing, we've got two different versions, really, black and silver, or the purple. If you're using the purple one, it's got some parts not used, so you might want to scrub them out of your instructions as you make your way through. Okay, so really it is that standard thing. Starting off with the engine. Colour callouts by Tamiya all the way through. There's a couple of little decals on there to go through, potting those together, obviously being a V-block as well, all the various parts each side, working away with the actual bike frame itself. Okay, so into there. Then obviously a bit of an assembly job with mounting the actual engine onto the frame, and then obviously got all the other bits going down in there. So we've got air filters, various smaller parts being fitted through, we've got spark plugs being fitted on there, and then back onto the actual dampener. And then obviously got the drive, which is a belt in this case. I'm working on the sort of rear gear with the rear swing arm system. So we've actually got those going in just like that. And the chrome parts going through with all of those. And then obviously mounting the actual rear swing arm system assembly onto the actual frame. Okay, pretty straightforward to start with. Then we'll work into the actual mudguard system for the rear. We've got the battery going in there. Then obviously we've got this nice system that Tamiya tend to do, which is actually cutting the length. Now these are actually to length, so you can use those for scale, and then cut the hoses for obviously fitting the battery onto this one. Exhaust system being fitted down in there as well. Exhaust systems going on, and again, some more vinyl tubing being fitted on for the brake lines, things like that, as those go right the way through. Working on top for the top forks with the actual front mudguard as well. And then the front wheel being fitted onto those, and then we've got the handlebars with, again, we've got the clutch and obviously all the wiring and everything on the front being fitted through. Okay, this is obviously for the painting system, talking about it in here, which is quite a nice touch as well, with whichever colours you're going to be doing for which version. Or obviously being custom by its name, you could put whatever you wanted down in there. Then the fuel tank actually being attached, a couple of chrome parts being fitted onto that one, and then again more hose assemblies. That front fork goes onto the frame, and a few other smaller parts being added onto that one. Then it's down into the back as well, and obviously we've got the saddle going on there. We've actually got the light system, the tail lights, we've got the saddlebags, obviously all being fitted down onto that one, and then obviously just all the last minute parts being fitted onto this one, all of the smaller items. And again, we've got the foot plate and the pegs and all the various stuff being fitted down underneath there. Front windscreen being fitted on there, and then obviously last but we've got the saddlebags and the seat pads and all the various little parts on the other side as well. Then you've got your actual call out for it as well, which looks pretty straightforward, no problem with that at all. Looks very, very nice. Okay, so over in here, let's have a quick, if we can have a get into these, which are always a pain to get in, but we'll give it a whirl. That's stabbing yourself with staples. Okay, so just looking in here. To it. So we've actually got the mask set, which isn't actually die cut, which is always a little bit of a pain when they're not actually die cut, but you can see that is in there just like that. Then we've got the actual decals for the pinstriping. And again, there isn't many going down in there for the actual Roadstar, but you've got your Yamaha markings, things like that. Pretty straightforward. They don't look too bad. They're always going to be a little bit thick because this is Tamiya after all, but I think they'll actually be okay with those. Okay, whilst we're on the smaller items, we'll just dive into this little rubbery bag and see exactly what we've got in here and have a look at the tyres. So we've got a screwdriver, pretty standard what we've come to expect. We've got a little baggie with all your tiny little screws and tubes and all those things in there like that, as you can imagine, so pretty straightforward. We've got that vinyl tubing, so this is used for, obviously we were talking about like brake lines and anything that you need for those, that's fair enough. We've got a spring, obviously for the rear dampener, just like that. Okay, and then we've got the tyres, which actually are very, very nicely moulded. You can probably see actually a nice grip pattern on that, nice tread pattern. No real centre seam on that one, but there is on this one, weirdly. So they've managed to sort of get away with it because of the grooveness on there. But this little guy down in here, that's actually pretty good on there. So that's all right. So no problem with those. All right. So into the sort of bigger stuff. Where do we want to start with this? I'll tell you what, let's start with the funny coloured stuff. Okay. And again, we'll try and get away past these. I like to remove these out rather than pulling them after stabbing myself the other day. So we'll just pop these out. Okay, so this is a little bit strange. This is this pearlescent. We'll start with this one first. As you can see, it's like a pearlescence to it. But because of the way that the moulding is, you can probably see the sort of mouldy lines in it. So I don't think you would ever keep it. You would be surely respraying this. It's like a pearlescent, but you've got the fogs and the shadowing into it. You can catch it in the light down into these. It's not exactly what I would call well worth it. It just seems a little bit odd to put this amount of effort into having a pearlescence into this and then it doesn't really work. But anyway, there we go. So that's that one done for your actual your mud guards and things like that. Usual Tamiya, very nice, but normally there's a lot of flash on this. That's what I was thinking. It's quite a flashy little item, and as well the Yamaha on the sides here are actually done into this. I thought there'd be a separate item being fitted into it, but they're not. So that's a little bit different. Okay, this one over here we've actually got the actual frame itself, which is fair enough. And as you're sort of making your way through, you can see we've got some very nice, good level of detail right the way through, as we've come to expect. No real flash or anything on this particular frame. Very nicely done with the saddles. They've got nice texture as well. Probably take a rubbery colour. And on the blind side, again, it's full of ejector pin marks. Let's face it, it's Tamiya, but they're all either flush, slightly recessed, so there's none sticking out proud or anything else like that. And they are tucked out the way. We have got a few on the frame which are a little bit annoying, but generally they're all going to be on the blind side. And as I say, they will be tucked out of the way, so hopefully that'll be okay. Whilst we're looking at the black stuff, as you can see here, I'm not even going to bother getting this out because it is crystal clear even through the bag, so that's good. So that's your windscreen and obviously your headlights as well, so that's absolutely no problem. And to be honest, there's not a lot of point getting these out. These are, as you can see, just the black for the saddlebags and everything else. They're not in vinyl, they are in plastic, so they're quite firm, but the seats and all these areas do look very, very nice indeed. So there's no real problem with those. Right, chromey parts. So we can just put these out. One. Two. Okay, so again, having become somewhat of an expert, no, long way from an expert, but I do have to say that all of those chrome parts do look extremely nice. You know, it's probably catching it very nicely in the light. It's going to kill the camera to try and show this, but as you can see, they are very, very nicely done. No problems with any of that at all, and you could probably get away with it. Now I know what you're thinking. If you haven't seen my latest build when we did the Kenworth truck with lots of chrome on it, normally you always have that problem is when you remove the parts, you're then left with a piece of plastic, and under this it could either be clear or it could be black. I assume it's probably black plastic underneath this, okay, and you're left with a black mark. You get yourself a Molotov pen, which is down the other end, always out of reach, but it's chrome pen. Just touch it up, you cannot see it. It works absolutely fantastic. Really, really nice, okay. But generally looking around, you can see on this side, it's obviously the blind side, so it's flat. Okay, but really very, very nice indeed. Okay, but that chrome is actually really nice. Again, you know, you would say about obviously the exhaust, you've got two halves coming together, you've got here, but as I say, Molotov pen works absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, have a look at the Kenworth I did, because that was sort of my masterclass in re-chroming. And for the first time, being honest, I was really happy with how it turned out. Normally with these things, if I can get in here, this staple is going to fight me. Normally with these things, you can see where you've been, and you know it's not nice, or you lose your detail perhaps by putting down too much and things like that. But with that particular build, I think I was really happy because we somewhat nailed it. Okay, these staples are bent right over on themselves. So I think we'll cut. No, we won't. We got it. Okay, so there we go. And again, this is a beautiful piece, very nicely done. Again, you're sort of just looking for any marring and stuff like that, but it's not. You can see everything reflecting very nicely in the studio lights. And again, this one's actually on both sides, where the other one is only on one side. This is dual, which is nice. So we've got the light here, will be absolutely gorgeous once it's done. So actually some very, very nice, very shiny chromy parts, as you can see. So that's very nice indeed. Okay, so they're halfway shiny. Okay, so down in here. We've got the last type of chromy one, as you say. Now, it's a shame they haven't, but it's not too much of a job to do, but you can probably see down in here, we've got the actual brakes. You would just drill those out, drill all the holes out, and you'll be good to go on that one. The front forks, again, really nicely done. Okay, so actually that's not too bad. And the nice thing is, these are more in the aluminium than the chrome. When you do as you can see, there is a difference between the two. You've got the chrome features, probably going to play havoc with the camera, and this metal one. So this is sort of your normal sort of metal, stainless, or your steel colour stuff versus the actual chrome. So that's actually a very nice touch with both of them. It's still shiny, and I'm sure it's killing the camera, but generally it does give the difference between the two. Okay, so next up we have, get these out. I'm sure the staples are getting smaller. Either that's my eyes are giving up. Okay, which is probably more the case. Okay. We've got engine parts on sprue B, as you can see down in here, and actually that's really very, very nice. We'll get to that in a moment, but you can probably see we've got the plugs, we've got that drive belt, which is a nice, good, solid one. Obviously the engine itself, but the nice thing here is the veining. It's a good, solid. Don't forget, this thing is actually, as we were saying, a 1/12 scale, and that seems to be about right for me. So that's actually very, very nice indeed in all of those parts. Okay, and even on the blind side, actually it's quite nice. It's pretty much tucked away. No problem. And again, even these little guys down in here, we've got the ejector pin marks in this that you probably do want to take out. They're a little bit recessed, so a quick smidge of either filler in there or just sand them clean off, and you'll be good to go. So actually that's very, very nice indeed. Last up, again, I don't think we really need to get this one out. We've got a little stand for it in the clear plastic. You can see just down in there, that's actually mounting it up. Then obviously we've got the lights and the various things. They're just flat standard. Very nice sort of fused or diffused lens on there, Ferrari type lens. So that's actually pretty good. And there you have it. I have to say, when I first looked at it, it was like, I wasn't that convinced, you know, it is what it is. But now having looked at it, little nice touches is the way that this kit has got the difference between proper chrome parts, as it would be, and then normal metal parts. And again, so it's that slight difference between the two. When I looked at it originally, I looked at it and thought, it's just the same. It's not, it's different. That's a very nice touch. The chrome stuff as well is very, very lightly done in detail. Don't think this is those old chrome kits that are thick with detail. The only part that really puzzles me is this, because obviously if it's going for a pearlescent look, it's certainly not what is shown on the box description by a long shot. So it's not like they tried to colour match in with this, and even if they did, the ghosting or that webbing effect as the actual hot plastic or the styrene is injected through it, you get that sort of webbing effect where it's got cooler areas. It's showing all the way through, so you wouldn't use any of this anyway, and clearly you're going to repaint it as you make your way through. I suppose the beautiful thing with this being custom, as it notes by its name, you could do any colour or any type of effects you wanted with this one to put and personalise it to what you would like, or you know, your bike or dream bike in most cases would be on this one. So there we go, that is Tamiya's brand new 1/12 scale Yamaha XV 1600 Roadster Custom.